Welcome back to the Paranormal Review, and I just wanted to make another video. I just recently put up a video explaining why with modern technology we still have blurry footage, and I just wanted to make another video kind of giving some good advice and hints about using your cell phone. I mean, it doesn't have to be about filming Bigfoot or Sasquatch or anything, but just in anything in general. So first of all, when you film, you want to make sure you tap to focus, okay? That's the whole video's point we made before. This is about tap to focus. If you're filming something and you're really close to it like this, you know, it's not going to be in focus because you haven't tapped it. You got to tap that, then it becomes focused, okay? The background becomes then blurred if you're close enough to the subject. That's why when, you know, if you tap here and then you pan around over here, the rest of these things aren't going to be in focus. So if there was a creature over there, for example, right now, or even a person, you wouldn't be able to tell facial features, you wouldn't be able to tell features, you wouldn't be able to exactly tell how big it is because the blur makes things appear bigger than they really are. So if you see something, tap on it, it'll come into focus, okay? Make sure that's the number one thing. Even if you film, you know, shaky or whatever, as long as it's in focus, we can still at least observe and analyze it, okay? For more in-depth video about focus, check the link on the screen. The other thing you want to do when filming with a cell phone camera is never do this, okay? Never, ever, ever, ever film like this, okay? This is the worst thing you can do. It's not a good format. You can't put this on YouTube. Actually, you can, but people are not going to watch your video very often. I hate reviewing videos that have been taken like this. It's hard to see. You have such a narrow field of vision, and it's just unprofessional and does not look good, okay? Okay, the second thing is, or third thing is actually, is the zoom, okay? So when you zoom in on your cell phone camera, it might sound like a good idea, okay? But here's the thing. It's a digital zoom, okay? Your lens is not actually moving in and out, okay? And why that's important is because that same zoom effect can be done in your computer by cropping the video. Okay, so if you're filming out here like this and there's a creature there, you know, you zoom in on it and you tap to focus. If it moves out of the screen, you're gonna have to follow it and you're gonna have to try to find it, okay? Whereas if you left it like this, you're still gonna have that creature or whatever you're filming in the screen, and you can always zoom in later, and it's the same exact quality, okay? It's the same exact quality if you zoom in or if you crop it later digitally, because you're essentially doing the same thing. You're just cropping it using your phone, but you're losing all that rest of that data that you could have if you just left it filming at a wider angle, what's the word? Not a wider lens, because this is not an SLR, but wide view, whatever, right? Okay, so, all right, so make sure you tap to focus. Make sure you don't film like this. Make sure you film like this correctly. And make sure you don't use your zoom on your phone, okay? If you're using an actual DSLR or something like that, that's fine. Go ahead and zoom. That's an actual zoom. It's actually a physical zoom. You're not going to have the same problems, and in that case, it'll be better quality zooming with your lens. But if you're using a cell phone camera specifically, make sure you do not zoom in, okay? Make sure other thing you want to make sure is, I mean, for outdoor stuff, you can almost usually use auto, but you can use the other functions, the white balances. So if it's a cloudy day, you can use your white balance on your phone to choose a better white balance for the situation that you're filming in. So for example, cloudy, overcast, or if it's bright and sunny, you can choose different white balances, okay? If you're indoors, which there's never really ever been a Bigfoot sighting indoors, but you know, you can use the white balance to choose fluorescent or incandescent or different types of lighting. So pay attention to that, because that makes a huge difference in video quality, okay? The other thing you want to make sure you're doing is film at your highest quality possible, okay? Go into your cell phone's camera settings and make sure you're shooting at least in 1080p, okay? I'm not sure what your cell phone's frames per second is, but the best one is going to be for outdoor Bigfoot type stuff, is going to be as high film rate as you can get. So 60 frames per second is probably the most any cell phone camera does, but 30 is also decent. 24 is more of a cinematic look, but your footage is going to be more choppy if you ever try to slow it down or get more analysis out of it, okay? So if you can do 60 frames per second, that allows me or other reviewers to actually slow down your footage quite a bit and not have such a choppy, slow motion, which allows us to actually analyze the movements, see the creature better in the frame, not as blurry, not as much motion blur, stuff like that, okay? So also, lighting. Some cameras, especially on like the Note, I think the newest Notes or the new Samsung 7s, they you can actually manually adjust the exposure while filming, which is very, very great, because that means as it gets darker outside, you can always bump up your exposure. Now, one more thing about exposure is ISO, okay? ISO is very important, even though it's kind of a simulated ISO in cell phones. You want to shoot with the lowest ISO possible for the opportunity, okay? This is one thing that Kodak really did a misservice to us back in the day when there was film, is they started pushing all this 400 ISO film on everyone and made 400 ISO really popular, and people to this day still think that 400 ISO is the best ISO to film with, because it is because they made it popular for no reason. And the reason why they did that is because it was a very versatile film. You could shoot in low light and in brighter situations and get good, decent pictures. Okay. Now, when it comes to low light, yeah, you might need that higher ISO sometimes. But if you have plenty of light or decent light, shoot with the lowest amount of ISO possible. You're going to get less noise in your photos, or in your videos especially. You're going to get less noise, meaning when we actually try to analyze that, when we try to enhance those things, or even when we just look at it normally without enhancements, you're going to have more detail there with less distortion and less of that graininess that you see in some videos. Okay, so those are just some really good hints and tips. I mean, you can use this in everyday situations, not just with Bigfoot or paranormal sightings, okay? But always follow those tricks. And if you're actually out there in the forest, the other thing you want to do also is, once you get a lock on the creature, don't be all, I mean, if you're all scared and stuff, of course you're going to be shaking, but you want to try to get set and film, and try to stay steady. Make sure your top to focus, keep it in the frame, and just stay still, okay? You don't want to be doing this kind of a thing. You know, there's no reason for that unless you're really scared. I mean, like, I understand kind of a shakiness, but if you're going to get footage and film, keep it filming, keep the film going. And if you're going to retreat, and, you know, let's say the creature's over there, if you're going to retreat and you still want to get film, back up, keep your eyes on the creature, don't run. Part of the worst thing you can do in any situation with animals or outdoors is to run from a predator. So you might as well keep the film going, back up slowly, maybe yell at the creature, so, you know, get large and intimidating if you can, but retreat, and if that's what you're going to do. Do not run, but keep your camera going. And even if you do run, keep your camera going. That way you can still get footage and record the experience. And, you know, if unfortunately something does happen to you, at least people will have that footage to evaluate and determine what happened to you. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but keep the camera going. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people start the film like this. I'm not sure why they're filming, but they're on the ground filming like this, raise it up, see the thing, it walks that way a little bit, and then they put it down like this, and they're just sitting there talking sometimes. And it's like, no, keep it up. Keep the camera there. Even if you can't see it anymore, you never know if it's going to come out over there, or if it's going to walk that way and come out over there. So keep the camera up, especially if you're not running away, and keep filming. I mean, this is a creature that we haven't had proof of before, and if anyone can get that proof, it'd be a shame if you put the camera down and all of a sudden it appeared again, right? So if you have a legitimate sighting, please keep the camera on the creature. Don't you know, turn it off and run away. I mean, if you're in danger, get out of there. But if you have a chance to get more footage, by all means, keep the camera on and keep trying to film for it. Anyways, guys, until next time, please subscribe. We'll talk to you guys later.